Greetings, everyone. I'm going to preface this video because it's important that I do that. I want to say that I know there are individuals who are not exposed to anything more than just getting up in the morning, just worried about how they're going to get through that day, what they're going to eat, where they're going to sleep. It's about survival at best. And at the end of the day, they're thinking about how they're going to do it the next day. I get that. But at the same time, I want to say that you still got persons within that environment that says there's more to life. I want more out of life, not just materially, but spiritually. And these are the ones that, I have to say, bless up yourself. And I don't accept the excuse that, this is what we're told, this is what we're taught, because something within you have always had questions. And what you do about that question is just saying, oh, well, this is what I know to be true, so I'll accept that. I think people in our community have done that for far too long, and that's why we're not seeing the strength that we should see within ourselves, the power that we have with us, and we're not seeing the changes. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to ask a question. What is a law of perpetual transmutation of energy? That's a mouthful right there. And so I know the average person wouldn't know this. But the thing is, once you have a spirit that wants to know the truth, you will be led to the truth. This is not just something that I'm making up. Once you have that question in your mind, once you position yourself to know more, you will know more. Now, let's talk about energy, because sometimes when I use that on my video, people get weirded out about it. No problem with talking about Jesus. And again, if you believe in the story of Jesus itself as a kind of metaphor, I get it, because the character of this Jesus in the Bible would seem awesome. But I leave it right there, because I'm not going to be worshiping any man who looks like people who enslaved my people. I'm not going to buy into the story that they told us that this is the God. And in that time, when black folks were, thinking this is their God, you see devastation in our community. In Africa, you got people condemning the African spirituality in favor of the very one where people came from millions of miles away and come to their place and destroyed them and their people. I just never get that. But it is what it is. I want to talk about energy. So if it's uncomfortable for you, then step off and come back another day. And so energy is everything. It's everywhere, it's always moving. It's continually working to become something physical instead of staying ethereal. Our thoughts, our emotion, that's energy within your body that is waiting to be manifested. Anything you're feeling in your emotion, if you open your mouth and you speak on it, it manifests. There's nothing that I've ever wanted that I don't have. Now, it takes time sometimes. And every so often, you're like centered in this light. And it's like you understand things so much clearer. And as you speak, as you act upon it, energy that is, it's activated and you manifest what you desire. But because we live in this physical um, body, and these rules that are defined out here, sometimes it blocks us. It blocks our transmission. And so you have to always be working at activating, at keeping that fire inside of you. Okay. Now, there's a never ending action of changing the state of everything around us. You have the true capacity to change energy around you. So the 1% that they tell you about, that has billions of dollars, they truly know how. And if you're going to say, well, these 1% are evil, no. What they know is not evil, is what they choose to do with it that makes it evil. And so we look at the laws of Newton, for example, the law of inertia, and it's often referred to as Newton's first law. In physics, it states that if a body is at rest or moving at a constant speed in a straight line, it will remain at rest or keep moving at this constant speed unless it's acted upon by force. And so when you look at even the physical things that are occurring in the world, individuals understand if you want this result, you have to act upon this with force to put it and move it into a direction where you want it to go. The scientists in the world are often seen as pure evil. But the thing is, it's not the science that makes them evil. It's the choice they make to how they choose to use science. And so many of us continue to walk blindly on the earth, continually stay dormant. We might speak with our mouth, but in a complaint. We might say things in a negative way, and the more negative you speak, the more of that you receive. It's so difficult. I think in my lifetime, I met two persons, truly powerful beings who have taught me some things. And the thing is, there were other persons who they wanted to teach, and these ones didn't want to hear. These ones said that they were mad, that they were, use whatever word you want to use to describe people. Eccentric, yeah, eccentric was a word that's used to describe this powerful person. I spent perhaps 25 minutes with this older man in Jamaica, and he actually changed my life. He allowed me to see how state of mind and state of being, when it is in dormancy, what happens, and when it is enlightened, what can happen. Pardon me for a moment. You could go now. Yes. So, for the most part, we are just too lazy to understand that this vast universe couldn't just be filled with stories of people who have lived long ago and say that is their story that we ought to use to guide us in this time. It makes absolutely no sense. So if you find yourself sitting there and feeling powerless, it's because you have chosen to give up your power or your agency to a thought process that comes from another person. You're not trying to find out the truth for yourself. You don't know or don't want to know. You're just too lazy to find out. And so some of you, love to speak against African spirituality that you know nothing about, and yet you embrace science. Science is magical. And some of these scientists, they went to their bed and they dreamt, and they found out about protons and atoms and neurons, and they woke up and they acted upon what they were taught. Some of you get dreams, you dismiss it. Sometimes people try to share a dream with you, you dismiss them and the dream, and then you expect to be great. Just look at some people who live in the so-called ghetto areas and watch the ones who come out. They understand some things and they act upon it. And when you don't understand what they do, you say it's evil. All these rich black people in the world who are super powerful, you have to always listen to other black people saying that they're indulging evil, this, that, and the other. No, they have the answer. And they decided that they didn't want to stay stuck in any matrix. They wanted to be out of it. But what is most important is not your material possessions or gains that you have. It's understanding the truth. Because I have seen things with my own eyes. In the physical, my eyes open wide. And when I see it, I am blown away. It's powerful. It's so great. It's so powerful that the truth is you can only take it in small dosage, because your mind in a Western mindset cannot handle it. And so sometimes you have to say, okay, just a glimpse, just a little taste of this, and then I'll come back. But you don't have to be hungry. You don't have to be poor. You don't have to be lonely. You don't have to be sad. Well, lonely, I take that back. You are going to be lonely. But I'm telling you, there's absolutely nothing in the physical realm that you cannot have, that you cannot manifest if you see these things, if you look at science closely. There are things in the Bible, yeah, there are secrets there too, but don't rely on that alone. Science Science have the power to lock down the whole world. What do you think this is? And 1% has the opportunity to control the universe. What is this? Think about it. And I'm going to, lay this at your feet. Enjoy this scene at the end. The answers are right here. Look at the water right there in front of your face, on the sun, the moon, the stars. Yes, it's right there. The answers are right at your fingertip. Stay blessed, everybody.